Hi all, it's Palest here, and I'm back with another Black Ops commentary. It's been a while since I put up my last Black Ops video, and I've got lots of gameplays. I think I probably have a good 15 gameplays to upload. This is the first of them, and they'll be keep coming all the time, especially over the Christmas periods. I'll be playing more and more. I've played this game for about a week since I've been back, and that's really been my first proper week of playing it. So I've got a lot of initial impressions to sort of give, but I'm not going to go through and sort of transmit those all one by one in not a lot of detail. I want to talk about the sort of impressions that I think are quite important, ones that are hopefully going to help you rather than just enlightening you of the observations that I've made on the game that won't really do much to your gameplay. And something that I've been thinking about quite a lot recently is the kind of debate between on the second perk, which is the best perk to use. As I've been swapping around sort of on almost all of my classes, so I've been thinking about this, and I've sort of written down my thoughts and gone over them and debated it in my own head. And I just want to discuss with you guys today, really, what I think. I mean, the second perk is perhaps the most important slot, and yet, as I've said, it sort of incites the most debate. But today I'm going to focus on just three of them. I don't really have time to go through all of them, but these I think are the most important three, mainly because they're relevant to both public and competitive play. So I'm going to talk about Steady Aim Pro, Sleight of Hand Pro, and Hardened Pro. But first, there's sort of a game mechanic that you must be conscious of when selecting for this slot. And it's all to do with sprinting and shooting. So when a character's sprinting, it takes a certain period of time for him to stop and then take a shot. So one cannot stop sprinting and then start shooting instantly. There's sort of a delay between stopping sprinting and being able to start shooting. But for different guns, this delay is different. So for most weapons, 0.3 seconds separate finishing sprinting and starting shooting. So that delay between stopping sprinting and beginning your shot is 0.3 seconds. But for all of the LMGs apart from the Stoner, this delay rises to 0.45 seconds. So that's almost half a second before you're able to shoot. So with that in mind, bear that in mind, let's continue to analyse these perks. Sleight of Hand's an old favourite. It's one that's transferred over from Modern Warfare 2. It's still used a lot, especially by competitive players. But I kind of want to ask the question: is this given too much credit? Is it given a lot of credit just because it was a very good perk in Modern Warfare 2, and is it still a dominant perk? So I want to really apply this to what I've just talked to you about in terms of that game mechanic about sprinting, because after sprinting, the sights will, they will still go up in half the time. So Sleight of Hand Pro, it makes that your sights go up in half the time, so they go up twice as quickly. So after sprinting, your sights will still go up in half the time, but you still can't shoot until this delay has finished. So I'm going to sort of elucidate this with a few applied examples. So with the M16, the normal aim down the sight, which I'll call ADS time, is 0.25 seconds. So that means as soon as you press the aimer, it takes a quarter of a second, 0.25 seconds, for the sight to go up and for you to be able to shoot down that sight with that sight accuracy. So with Sleight of Hand Pro, this 0.25 seconds becomes 0.125 seconds, so it's halved. So this means that after shooting, it doesn't matter, after sprinting, it doesn't matter whether or not you have Sleight of Hand Pro, because whether your sight raises in 0.25 without Sleight of Hand Pro or in 0.125 seconds, with Sleight of Hand Pro, you still have to wait until 0.3 seconds have passed before you can shoot down the sight. This is after sprinting. Second applied example. So with the AK-74U, the normal aim down sight time is 0.2 seconds. But with Sleight of Hand Pro, it goes in half, so to 0.1 seconds. So this leaves a 0.2 second gap between aiming down the sight and being able to shoot. So you stop sprinting. It takes you 0.1 seconds then to go down the sight with Sleight of Hand Pro. But then you still have to wait 0.2 seconds after that before the 0.3 seconds have passed so that you can shoot. So basically you're going down the sight before you're even able to shoot. So in that case, Sleight of Hand Pro is kind of ineffective. I mean, this is the most important thing about it, that Sleight of Hand Pro is ineffective when you're coming up from sprinting, which is kind of when you really need the fast aim down the sight time. When you're moving about slowly, when you're walking, you will often have your sight up anyway, I think, and when you're stationary, you'll generally be pre-aimed down the sight. Certainly if you're not pre-aimed down the sight, often that's a tip I'd give you, especially with a submachine gun. So the aid of Sleight of Hand Pro and sort of the quicker reload, sorry, I mean the aid of sort of the basic Sleight of Hand, the quicker reload is still very handy though. And it will get you out of a lot of tricky situations where you're getting swarmed, especially if you've got Blackbird up and you know they're coming from all angles and you try and take them on. Then Sleight of Hand, just the basic, the half time of the reload is very useful. So Steady Aim Pro cuts the delay, so this 0.3 second delay, by 40%, so 0.3 seconds becomes 0.18 seconds, and that means sort of in both the case of the 74U and the M16 that you can start shooting before your sights come up. So that's good in many cases, especially when you want to hip fire. And even when you do need to go down the sights after sprinting, you'll still be able to shoot from the sight faster than you would be able to with Sleight of Hand Pro. Obviously your sights will go up faster with Sleight of Hand Pro, because that's the whole point of having Sleight of Hand Pro, but you wouldn't be able to shoot down those sights any quicker. The base effect of Steady Aim Pro, well, it's good up close, obviously, because when you're aiming down the sight, you get faster movement speed, you're more mobile, so you can sort of outmaneuver your opponent, and that's especially handy with submachine guns. Hardened Pro is sort of more of a debatable area, it's a grey area. I kind of want to test this more myself, but I have used it in my last Prestige, and the base effect, sort of the wall penetration, I found to be especially good with assault rifles, especially on maps such as Nuketown, where you sometimes need to finish a guy off through a wall when you're picking off guys, from the first floor of those buildings. And the Pro effect is also good with the 74U, where you get in a head-on gunfight with someone with the 74U and they might hit you, but because you have less flinch with Hardened Pro, you can just keep ploughing loads of metal in them, hopefully finish them off. There's still gun bounce, but there's only a fifth of the gun bounce when you get shot that there would have been before. And I guess while that is small, it's still important to get the first shot off, so that's something in favour of Sleight of Hand Pro and Steady Aim Pro. But I found it does help you in certain situations, especially with the 74U at sort of a close to medium range. Hardened Pro is definitely good. So in conclusion, well, there is no real conclusion. It remains a grey area. I personally am leaning towards Hardened Pro at the moment, but it might be kind of the originality of that's sort of enticing me towards it. Steady Aim Pro I'm using on my submachine guns at the moment, even the 74U, but I can see myself reverting back to Hardened with that, because 74U has really good hip fire anyway, along with the MP5K, and most of the submachine guns actually. I used the PM today, the submachine gun, and I found that really useful with grip. So yeah, I used Steady Aim on that, and that was good from the hip as well. So I find Steady Aim, I'm leaning towards Steady Aim for the subs. I've been using Sleight of Hand Pro on the assault rifles, and don't get me wrong, it still does save you, but Hardened Pro, I think it's more deceptive when it saves you. You don't really notice it as much, and maybe that's why it's used less. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the second perk. Thanks a lot for watching and listening, and be back with some more content soon. Thanks a lot, guys.